Okay. My fan's gonna be on. My AC's gonna be on. Alright, we're just gonna get this out of the way. It's 92 degrees outside. I'm not gonna not have it on. Hey everybody, it's Knife here, and today we're gonna be talking about an old favorite of mine, Goat Simulator. So Goat Simulator was released on April 1st of 2014, and you just play as a goat. That's kind of it. But at the same time it isn't. You'll know what I mean by the end of this video, trust me. So, originally, Goat Simulator was not meant to be a fully fledged game. It was just a silly little game for a game jam that was simply making fun of all the simulator games that were popular at the time. After the game jam had ended, developer Coffee Stain Studios decided to put a video of the demo online, and overnight people loved it, and they knew how big of a hit they had on their hands. So then April Fool's Day of that year, they released the full version of Goat Simulator. It was originally released on Windows, with Mac and Linux releasing a few months later. By the end of 2014, the game was on mobile devices and was released on console by early 2015. Capitalizing on the derpy goat meme from the mid-2010s, the game makes a bunch of other pop culture references, such as Michael Bay explosions or bacon, which, for me personally, and I know this is a very personal take, I really like it, but that is also because I get all of the references. So, one of the main quirks of this game is how glitchy and buggy it is. Now, usually when a game would be super glitchy and buggy, it would really diminish from the experience. But I gotta say, with the quirkiness and the charm that Goat Simulator has, it really just adds to it. The game also used ragdoll physics, which at the time were not nearly as common. The massive success of the game spawned a few spin-offs, a remaster, and a sequel of the game, which actually came out a few years ago. So, getting into the gameplay, there's no main objective other than, I guess, causing as much destruction as possible. On the top left of your screen, you'll see your score. This is added up by everything you destroy and all the people you headbutt. Now, every single time you exit the game, your points do reset. However, there are other things that don't. Each map in the game has their own distinct missions, whether it be something like getting super high in the sky or getting a very high number of points. There are also about 30 goat trophies per map, which can be really well hidden, and I actually haven't even found all of them on either map. Upon collecting certain numbers of these goat trophies, you unlock new goats. Now, the reason I got the air quotes when I say goat is that most of these just aren't goats. If these are all goats, then I'm a goat, you're a goat, my cat's a goat. So yeah, do keep in mind that the term goat is used very, very, very loosely in this game. Now, what makes these other goats cool, other than just being a reskin, is the fact that almost all of them have special abilities. Now, some of these might help you in the game, like there's a double jump, which is actually really nice for traversing the maps. And then there's the demon one. Does that. The cool thing about these unlockables is they're not just different goats, they're actually mutations, which you can combine, leading to monstrosities like this. So, upon the original release of Goat Simulator came one map, and that map was Goatville. It takes place in a very rural town in between heaven and hell, which technically makes it purgatory. The locals massively worship the goats, even making monuments and stores for them throughout the maps. There are a few distinct locations, like the cornfield or the construction site, but with a little bit of exploring, you can find things like this sacrifice area, or this blue shipping container that contains G2, which is a character from Coffee Stain Studios' other game, Sanctum. There are actually a few other references to their games throughout the map, with there even being a very meta reference with a game studio that's making a game about a goat. Now, when I will say realism isn't this game's strong suit, what are these gas prices, man?
I mean, come on. What currency is this? Fake Monopoly money? But yeah, in playing this game, you can get pretty much most of what it has to offer from Goatville in like an hour or two. But if you're trying to go to the completionist route, that's definitely going to take more time. Now, before we get on to our next map, I would like to cut to our man on the outside, Guy with a Hat On.
Hey everybody, this is Guy with a Hat On, and today I'm here interviewing a goat. What's your name?
Beatrice.
All right, nice to meet you. Now, my first question is, do you like Goat Simulator?
It actually gets a few things wrong. Like, for example...
All right, very inspiring. My second question is, do you feel there is enough goat representation in the media?
Hey, you cut me off on that last question.
It appears he doesn't want to interview right now. That has been Guy with a Hat, and this has been Interview with the Goat. Can we please go? Come on, please.
No, I already told you.
Please.
No.
I'm a turtle.
Wow, that guy was really handsome. Well, anyways, let's get on to this new map. So, about a few months after the original Goat Simulator came out, Coffee Stain Studio came out with Goat City Bay. Now, this was more of a city as compared to the ruralness of Goatville, and it had a lot more buildings that you were able to explore. But before we talk about all the cool stuff you get to explore, let's talk about all the stuff they added, because they actually added a bunch of stuff in this update. This update added a few things, such as wall running, swimming, skating, and riding a bike. They also added walking on two legs, which is called manualing. Now, fun fact about the logo before we get into everything, it's actually based off of the Grand Theft Auto Vice City logo. Immediately walking into the town, you notice all of the big buildings to go and explore. But the buildings aren't the only thing to explore in Goat City Bay. There's a rooftop party with Deadmau 5. There's even a carnival that you can play games at. Definitely gotta say, it feels like there's a lot more to do in this map than the original Goatville. So there's not really a whole lot of depth to these games, and that's actually something I really like about them. I feel like it makes them stand out from the rest, especially for their time. Speaking about their time, though, one thing I would like to mention is how, with all of the pop culture references in the game, it can almost feel dated. Like, okay, when I was 10, I understood the reference of Michael Bay, and I knew who Deadmau 5 was, but I don't know if those are things that kids know about today, you know? You know, it kind of reminds me of early Family Guy. I feel like a lot of those references went over my head, even now if I watch it. I don't really understand what they're referencing, because, you know, it was stuff that was relevant when I was like 10 and younger, so obviously it's going to go over my head. Other than that, though, I really do feel like these are awesome games. And with all of the ways that you're able to play them, and now that the original Goat Simulator has been remastered, there's the Goaty Edition, which is a cheeky little play on Game of the Year. But yeah, they even released a sequel to Goat Simulator 1 called Goat Simulator 3. I guess we're taking what Valve does and turning it on its head. Before I end this video out, I just want to give a few thanks to people. Firstly, I would like to thank the kid and his mom that let me interview their baby goat. I really appreciate that. I probably wouldn't have been able to do all this without interviewing the baby goat, so thank you. I really do appreciate it. And also, secondly, I would like to thank the lady that did my face paint. It's awesome. I'm Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. I hope I'm not wrong on that. I didn't really watch them too much growing up. But yeah, I will, I'm gonna have a picture of her card right here, and I'll have like her information somewhere. But yeah, I mean, thank you guys, and thank you to everyone who watched. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, have a great one. Bye.
Riddle me this, Batman. What has 4 legs and is a goat?